What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today we're headed out from Charlotte, North Carolina, and we're headed to somewhere that I let Twitter decide with a poll. And today's video is brought to you by Tenant Energy. They are an auto finance company that allows you to refinance or finance your electric vehicles only, and allow you to do essentially a balloon payment at the end. So that way, when the tax credit's available January 1st, you don't have to have that into your loan. You can just have that as a balloon that you can then pay off at any time. They call it a deferred payment, and that allows you to reduce your monthly payment significantly on your EV. They say about $200 a month. I personally was about $300 a month on my Rivian, and highly encourage you to check it out. They have a calculator on their website that allows you to see what you can save, and link down below, link right here. If you click that link, really helps out the channel. Thank you again, Tenant Energy, for sponsoring today's video. So like I said, we're headed out from Charlotte, North Carolina. We're walking over to my Rivian R1T right now. It's fully charged, and I made a Twitter poll with two different options for where I would go on this trip. One of them was going north to Canada, and the other was going south to Florida, about as opposite of options as you can get. And the first poll I ran for, I think it was 12 hours, and it got 380 votes. And the results were exactly 50-50, which is just crazy. And this morning when I left, I actually decided to run another poll this morning, and only ran it for 15 minutes. It got like 40 votes, and it ended up winning for Canada. However, I ended up checking some of the traffic and things like that. Turns out there's a travel ban for a decent chunk of New York. So we're gonna have to rethink this. But let me load up my truck and then we'll hit the road. So here's my 2022 Rivian R1T, Rivian Blue Ocean Coast. We've got the 20-inch all-terrain wheels with the all-terrain tires. We have about 10,000 miles on the truck. We've got my backpack up here. We've got some miscellaneous stuff in the back seat here. We've got detailing supplies in the gear tunnel, as well as some charging equipment. I've got some miscellaneous like recovery, just truck stuff in the bed in a bin. And up here we've got some of my day-to-day carry stuff, just like the miscellaneous stuff that I don't have a better home for, but I also don't want just flying all around. More microfibers, suitcase, shoes, toiletries. As my suitcase shrinks, I'll move some of that into the suitcase. And here's this. I just vacuumed it, so it's decently clean at least. So this was a tentative plan that I had punched in there. Let's go to the trip. So here you can see we have 10,774 miles. Gonna take a picture of that, so that way we can kind of calculate the total trip. Reset that. We're gonna use that as our trip for this entire time. And let's punch this in. I think we're gonna head to Florida instead of Canada. Simply for practical reasons, because unfortunately, there's a big travel ban actually for basically here over in New York, which is kind of crazy. So let's see how the route planning does on the Rivian here. It's calculating the route right now, but in theory, yep, perfect. So I was gonna say it should stop first in Walterboro. Brunswick probably doesn't need to be a stop. I'll probably stop in Pooler here, because there's actually a Rivian Adventure Network site that I visited previously. Not in my Rivian, I think that was in my Polestar, maybe the ID4, I don't 100% recall. But I want to see how that's coming along, see if there's any equipment, because last time I was there was a cabinet and transformer, but no charging equipment. And then we'll kind of decide which way we might go through Orlando, depending on what time of day. And we're headed towards Naples area. Gonna try and meet up with Kyle from Out of Spec. A few of you might know him. And then at some point we're actually gonna head down to Key West, and then we'll probably do a different route on the way back, maybe through Tallahassee and then up through Atlanta, or maybe west and up. I don't know. We'll play it by ear here, but let's get on the road. We'll leave it at Walterboro. It looks like I didn't shut my door fully, so gotta take care of that. But let's get to it. We're at 99%. I'll switch it into conserve once we hop on the interstate. Let's see how it wants us to get out of Charlotte. Okay, good. We're just headed on 77. and south. Nice and easy. We're bypassing Columbia. This should be a pretty easy jaunt. That's 182 miles, so easy peasy with a full charge battery. Frequent viewers might be wondering when I'm going to get Starbucks. Well, I'm delaying it a bit here because I want to actually have caffeine a little bit later in the afternoon so I can stay awake longer, because got a little bit of a later start than I wanted to today, about 10:30 in the morning now. We just left. So it's looking like we'll roll into Florida pretty darn late. So we'll see where we end up. Haven't booked a hotel or anything because I don't book things ahead generally. So I don't know, maybe we'll make it all the way to Naples area. Maybe we'll stop in like Fort Myers, Tampa, who knows. We'll see where we end up. Seeing a somewhat weird bug here. So 31.2 miles at 1.65 miles per kilowatt hour is definitely not 9.5 kilowatt hour. That is probably 20 something kilowatt hour. Not doing that math in my head. So gonna try and pull over at the next like easy on off probably, and see if I can just do a system reset and see if that fixes it or if there's something else going on. So yeah, I'm probably gonna pull off here and just do a full restart of the system, and hopefully that fixes it, because that's not correct and I'd like to have correct data. Pulled over here so we can do a full reset. So to do that, you press and hold the hazards and this left scroll wheel at the same time until it gets to the restarting screen. Fortunately, I don't think I can do that with one hand while filming. So let me do that and then I'll show you what it looks like. So now we're restarting, and you can turn off the hazards at that point. And it usually takes about a minute or two. And whenever I do this, I always notice that there's a little speck here that happens to be perfectly aligned with the button for the heated or cooled seat, so I don't notice it when the screen is on, but kind of drives me nuts that it happened, or that you can see it while the screen is restarting. So give it a moment here. It does kind of like a half restart, comes back on, and then goes back off again. That's totally normal, but we'll give it a moment here, and hopefully that fixes the trip calculation. Well, we fully restarted, and now that's even more useless somehow. So we'll see if that adjusts. And I realize that this number has not changed since we left. So much for tracking total energy here, I guess. We'll see if that corrects itself as we go here. Also, I decided to have it nav just to the specific charger rather than the whole route, because otherwise, if you go to the full trip overview, like this screen, it shows you literally the entire route rather than just the section that you're on, which is not that useful. So I'd rather just see the entire section, because then I have the turn-by-turn over here. But let's get back on the road so we're not burning too much time, and we're at 82% now. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to restart this. I noted the number here. Let's just see if this goes accurate going forward at least. That would at least be an improvement. Let's see if this changed at all. That still is, it's only going up. It's gone up 1 kilowatt hour. We're currently doing regen, so that this number actually does make sense currently. Slight downhill. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that, and we'll see if it becomes accurate-ish. So it seems like there's quite a bit of traffic here on I-26. I checked on Google Maps, and this route is faster, but the Rivian nav did not auto-update to that until I actually had it manually recalculate the route by canceling and going back in. But good to see that it is smart enough to do it on its own. So we'll be taking this bit of a detour around the traffic here. And then this is correct as well, because there's quite a bit of traffic there as well at the I-26, I-95 interchange. So Rivian nav is doing okay, I'd say. Not great, but with a little bit of help, it seems to be doing all right. Well, I'm a bit of a dum-dum and missed the exit, so I think I might take the exit here because things are getting a bit slow, so would prefer to not have that, and that way if I take the exit here, I can just bypass around it. I don't know, we'll see. I'll see what Google Maps says too.
It's easy to remember where I started, the doors that opened up, a place I long to find. My fear and money disregarded for another time. No, I didn't know it hit me out of nowhere. No, I didn't know it, but I had to go there. Take me back to the place I'm missing. Oh, I wanna catch a fever in the underground. No amount of nothing that can replace. I remember dreaming, rolling up just to get away. I'm screaming now and never.
Well, we're about 11 miles away from Walterboro Electrify America station. That is a 4-unit site, Signet, and it also has a Tesla power pack actually, so seems to be a bit grid limited there, or maybe demand management, one of the two. But anyway, I checked and there's only 1 unit available there, and it's the 150 kilowatt CCS and Chatamo unit. This is a Signet site. So we'll see if I have to end up queuing there. I was considering pushing through all the way to Pooler, because we're at 29% right now, 87 miles estimated. But I think we just don't have quite enough buffer for me to be comfortable pushing it all the way to Pooler. I think that's probably like 81 miles away at this point. So very small buffer, and that site seems even more questionable. Based on the plug share reviews and things, and it currently is showing 1 unit available out of the 6 at that site. But also people were reporting issues with some of the units. I didn't check to see if the unit that was available is the one that was having issues reported or not, but rather not take that risk. We might still swing by there anyway, because that's where the Rivian Adventure Network site is, or very nearby there. Maybe we'll charge for a moment, and it's also cheaper to charge in Georgia than in South Carolina because of the time-based billing versus kilowatt-hour billing. Even though I think kilowatt-hour billing is the way to do it, if you have a fast-charging car like a Rivian, it is pretty advantageous to charge at a time-based billing station. Yeah, we're about 10 minutes away from Walterboro. I'll see you there, see how it goes. We'll see if we end up having a queue or not.
To people I don't know, yesterday is far enough away to see.
We're gonna go in a little bit the long way here through the shopping complex, because I want to see how busy the supercharger is. And it's a relatively new install. I believe it's 12 stalls if I remember correctly. If you watched one of my videos from over the summer, you saw while that site was under construction, actually. I was actually the one that discovered that this site was even coming to the supercharger network. But let's see here. They got a stop sign. You can see the cabinets poking through over there. Let's just take a look. Looks like a decent amount of people. Wow, this parking lot is just utter chaos, and I'm not necessarily contributing positively to that. But we've got 1, 2, 3, so we've got 6 cars charging there with 12 stalls. So definitely could spare some capacity there, I would say, and still be fine as far as letting non-Teslas charge there. But now let's head over to the Electrify America at the Walmart, which arguably is maybe a slightly better location in this case. But this one, not the easiest to find, I would say. And what is this guy doing? It's all the way over there. And also over by the gas station exit, kind of. And we'll see if we have to queue, or if there's actually adequate capacity here. Looks like we might be waiting, unfortunately. Yeah, it looks like there is a queue. Oh boy, That's not ideal, I would say. We'll see how long things are going. We might just hypermile it over to Pooler instead. Well, here we have it. Ignore that loud truck. Sorry. Got a Kona from Connecticut. We've got an Ioniq 5, so that Kona's at 50% or so. Ioniq 5's at 83%. This F-150 Lightning's at 42%. And of course, ID4 owners doing ID4 things, charging to 97%. We've also got a Bolt over here waiting. And here's all the infrastructure. So I'm gonna see if I can make it all the way to Pooler instead, because I'd rather not have to wait. Well, we have 71 miles estimated range in all-purpose mode, so let's put it back to conserve. So bumping it up slightly there. Actually a decent amount, not bad. And it's 70 miles to get to Pooler. So I think I'm going to hypermile it a bit, take the chance, and do it. So rather than waiting in this queue, so we've got the Kona, the Ioniq 5, the Lightning, ID4. Man, ID4 owners, stop charging to 100%. You don't need to. We have this Bolt. Looks like this, okay, maybe actually this Ioniq 5 is leaving. So that could be good, but then that Bolt EUV is going to be there for probably a while, would be my guess. Yeah, I don't know. What would you do in this situation? Comment down below.
No, I didn't know it was coming out of nowhere.
Well, another bit of a detour here because of traffic. That looks not fun, I would say. It's the best way to describe that. But hopefully this is at least fairly free-flowing and not too slow.
Take me back to the place I'm missing. Oh, I wanna catch a fever in the underground. No amount of nothing that can replace. I remember dreaming, rolling up just to get away. Just to get away. Just to get away. Take me back to the place I'm missing. Oh, I wanna catch a fever in the underground. No amount of nothing that can replace. I remember dreaming, rolling up just to get away.
This is just a crazy amount of traffic. I've been sitting here for far too long. And we're down to 5%, 16 miles, and we have 15 miles to go. So definitely going to be taking it a bit easy here. And it's already 3:30, so it's getting pretty late in the day. Definitely not making as much time as I would like. And we've only driven about 240 something miles when you add in the 40 from the original clearing. That's really not that much. Not exactly making great time today. Well, we're 3.5 miles away. We just got a performance reduced to preserve battery range warning. And you can see we have some significant power cut there. So hopefully we made it. I also turned off climbing a couple minutes ago. It's getting a little warm in here actually, even though it's only 52 degrees outside and I have all the windows tinted, but just talked to Kyle and sounds like they're having all sorts of charging fun as well. So hopefully this is relatively uneventful for me. Yeah, they're performance limited right now. Well, we're down to 1%, 1 mile. We have 1.7 miles to go. I've slowed down more. Fun. Always living on the edge. And we're now exiting and we're at 0%, 1 mile estimated. I did not intend to pull in this low, but I guess that's the reality. There's the Walmart that the Electrify America is at, so we have to do a little bit of a loop-de-loop to get there. And it looks like the status is pretty accurate. It said 4 were open. Well, we made it. 0 miles, 0%. We're at the Pooler Electrify America. And let's see, hopefully this is number ID4 here. This is a 350 kilowatt that seemed to have decent notes on PlugShare. So I'm gonna get it activated. We'll get plugged in so this truck's not sitting at 0%. Don't want that. Then I'll take a look at the general status of what's going on here. So we're initiating charging here, so that's a good sign. I hear cable cooling going. I hear contactors clicking. Let's see. Got an ID4 that just pulled up there. And we should get 100 plus kilowatt. Switch it to kilowatts here. Because when you restart the truck, it doesn't stay. Well, that's rather promising so far. Cannot complain about 140 kilowatt as long as it stays. 150. Well, as long as that stays, I'll call that rather successful. Hopefully that ramps up to the 200 plus that it should, but even 190 or so is fine by me. Well, I think I figured out my next stop here. So this is Yulee, Florida. We'll bypass Brunswick, 114 miles. And that's actually a Florida Power and Light Evolution station, so FPL Evolution, and they have 300 plus kilowatt charging, which is excellent. And then we still have most of the state of Florida to cross here. Gone from Charlotte down to here, then we're going there, and then we're going all the way down there. So it's going to be a long night, I think. And there we have 200 kilowatt, 4%. So ramping up with the pack voltage coming up. Can't really complain about that. I'm going to run into Walmart, grab some snacks or something, because getting a bit hungry. Clean my windshield here. Let's check out the state of the status. So we're starting here on number 5. Appears to be available. Number 6 here also appears to be available. But man, that is not great there. Got number 4 here that I'm charging on. Let's just see how things are going. Make sure we're still getting full power, or at least close. Well, 183 kilowatt. Not great, it should be higher, but can't really complain about that at least. This one, number 3, one of the cables is unavailable. This right handle. Let's see. Yeah, some physical damage, but maybe just doesn't work either. Got ID4 charging on number 1 there. Number 2 appears to be fine. So, time to go into Walmart. Pulled forward, my charging actually failed. Got ID4, got Lucid Air, e-tron Sportback, another e-tron. That might be an e-tron S, maybe? But that one needed to be reset. That far one over there wouldn't charge the Lucid. It would initiate, or it would authenticate plug and charge, and then start, and then immediately fail. So that's not good. And then this one actually worked without issue. Plug and charge for the Lucid Air. Man, that Lucid looks great. And we ended up charged to 61%, 183 miles estimated. And we're headed to Yulee, which is north of Jacksonville. 114 miles. We've got another ID4 pulling up. Before we depart Pooler here, we're going to head over to Starbucks over there. Well, I just ordered some Starbucks. And we'll head over to the Panda Express, which is somewhere over here, and check out the Adventure Network spot and see how that's coming along. Well, I came in the wrong way, but there's Panda Express, and here's where the Rivian Adventure Network spot will be, and it looks exactly the same as it did last time I was here, which is a bit sad. Wow, it actually looks worse because someone hit the pole because they don't have equipment here. That's not great. Wow, someone managed to really knock that over. That's impressive. That's a concrete encased bollard. But you can see they already have a transformer, they have switch gears, so I don't know what the heck Rivian's waiting for. It's ready to go. And finally, I have my Starbucks, so let's get on the road. Man, that Starbucks is just utter chaos.
I remember
Well, we've just arrived to the Yulee FPL station. Not exactly the best parking job that I did here. Hanging out a little bit. This is kind of a weird installation because it's actually on the left side of the road, but you probably are going to be coming in from that direction. But we've got 6 dispensers. We've got some equipment down there, but let's get charging and then we'll go check out the equipment. So these are made by Power Electronics. So we have the Sooner & Huber liquid cooled cables. And I'll grab my flashlight here in a moment to take a look closer. And that looks frozen on establishing connection, which is not great. So let me get this started and then I'll tell you about it and then we'll go check out the equipment. So ended up moving stalls. That one seems to be locked up. The Mach-E was leaving right as I was checking out the rest of the station here, but we're already charging, so that's good. Looks like we're ramping up here. It's very promising. Looks like 120 kilowatts. We'll see how that goes. Give it a moment to ramp up. I'm gonna grab the Rivian flashlight actually, so that we can check out some of the equipment. This comes in big handy, or very handy. So there you can see we have the, this is a 350 kilowatt, 800 volt. I believe this is just a dispenser. That weird Chatamo handle there. 118 kilowatt, so wishing that was a bit higher. This is 30 cents a kilowatt hour to use. So it looks like that QR code is just stuck on there. Let's see what this one says. So this is 175 kilowatt output. So I wonder how many amps this one can output compared to that. This is a, let's see what kind of cable this is. So this actually should output 400 amps for some time, but it's 300 amps nominal. Yeah, so these are just dispensers, and the actual power conversion happens all the way over here. So we've got the cabinets, we've got the switch gear, we've got the utility transformer. Could maybe hear the chirp of the Rivian there. So we've got the whole system here. So this is the Power Electronics cabinet. So there's a fault warning for something. There's an emergency stop, there's Ethernet. So all the power conversion is happening centrally here. And then we've got the utility transformer. So this is, let's see how many kVA. 500 would be my guess based on the size. Can't quite tell, but I'm going to guess 500 kVA transformer here. And then it looks like we also have battery system here. So it has a DC to DC. And these look like batteries. Let's see if we can, that's just a cabinet. But I think that's a battery system. And then this is all the switch gear and everything over here. So pretty complex system, I would say, to be serving only 6 posts. And we have 2 that are actively charging, 1 that's faulted. You can tell by the lights there. And I was just looking at the wrong side of the transformer. It is a 500 kVA transformer, as you can see right there. And I've confirmed these are batteries. So there's the CATL. So they must be LFP would be my guess. Let's see on the label if we have any info. So 186 kilowatt output, and let's see. Doesn't say a capacity that I can see here, unless I'm missing it. Yeah, lithium iron phosphate. Yeah, I don't see anything in that regard, but there you can see some of the stuff there. And this is kind of just a mess, which is really not great. Not sure if that's someone that messed with it or anything, or what happened there. But this just seems like it's asking for someone to be messing with it. Wow, that's not great. So we're back at the truck here. We've added 15 kilowatt hours in about 8 minutes. I think I'm gonna switch to this dispenser. I'm really just curious how many amps this will output. Unfortunately, I think I do need to move my truck to have it reach. I'll just pull it forward a little bit so I can reach either one of these. So if in case it's lower power, I can just swap back to this. Well, I pulled forward, tried to activate the other one, and it actually said that the station was unavailable. So we're back on this one, even though I pulled forward, but I'm not blocking a station that actually works. So it's whatever. But going to figure out the route through Florida all the way to Marco Island. Well, it's time to hit the road. Polestar showed up as I was getting ready to leave, and they asked me if I lived at the apartment complex that I do, which I thought was a little strange, but turns out their parents actually live at the same apartment complex, and he lives in Florida and was driving basically the same trip as me, which is kind of coincidental and a little strange, actually. But we were talking about Rivian because he has one ordered, and he actually recognized mine from the parking garage, which is how we got talking there. And discovered that the air-cooled cables on these stations actually do 250 amps because thanks Polestar, they actually show you the current and the voltage. Yeah, he's driven everything from Mini to Lucid to Rivian and was deciding whether he wants a max pack Rivian with dual motor or if he wants to wait for quad motor. I encouraged him to do max pack with the dual motor because I think the dual motor will be more efficient and really pretty much no compromise, if anything better in some regards, because it should have a limited slip differential and everything. So in a lot of ways, that's probably better than the quad motor. But we are headed to Washburn, I think is the name of it. But we might actually be able to make it farther. We charged up to 78%. So more than needed, which is good, I guess, or Bushnell, not Washburn. But we're going to get on the road here. Well, we arrived here to Bushnell. So we arrived with 13%. I had to call Electrify America to get this activated. We're getting pretty terrible charging speeds here, 99 kilowatts. I don't think the cable cooling's running. Cable's not getting hot. Yeah, that's not good. So I think I'm gonna stop this and swap cables and see how that goes, but I'm also not sure if I'll even be able to activate it. So basically I had a stuck session on my account. This seems to be kind of a known issue, and apparently you can activate it with NFC when that's the case. I'm a bit skeptical, but I guess we'll find out here. Worst case, I should have enough range at this point to make it to the one just on the north side of Tampa. And if I can't get it activated with NFC, I'm not going to bother calling them again this time. I'm just going to rip it all the way to Tampa and then deal with it there. So surprisingly, that actually seemed to work, that I could activate it with NFC. We're charging now. Let's see what we get. Hopefully over 100 kilowatts this time. Let's see. The Signet units are generally pretty good. And nope, 98 kilowatts. Well, only getting 100 kilowatts here, so we back up here and try this other unit and see how that goes. Well, swap cables here. Luckily this reaches. Not the best, but works. Let's see what we get.
Oh, green light comes on.
Yeah. On the front and the back. And ramping up, and we'll see if we get over. There we go. That's much more like it. So can't complain about actually good speeds this time. Ran into Walmart. Charging's doing pretty darn well. Added 52 kilowatt hour in 17 minutes. Can't really complain about that. Cable is warm, though not hot. So nothing to be concerned with. And even though it is 45 degrees outside, we are getting charging is slowed due to battery cooling. Well, we overcharged quite a bit more than I wanted to, but I was trying to figure out a hotel and I still haven't. So that'll be fun here. It's 11 p.m. or so, trying to not be out too late. $24 there for almost 80 kilowatt hours. These cords are always so awkward. All right, let's at least just get going. We can always figure things out as we go. So we'll head, we'll at least head. I don't need to head there. Probably head there for now. I don't know if I'll go all the way, but I'll see you when I see you. Well, booked a hotel, Even Hotels, just south of Tampa here, kind of Sarasota area. That way we're kind of halfway. We'll get there just past midnight, not too terrible. They have both Tesla and J1772 chargers, and we'll go to Marco Island in the morning. Efficiency was not great on that run, but we dropped almost 20 minutes off the ETA. Just about to arrive to the hotel. Lots of these double diverging diamonds, I think is what they're called, interchanges here. Kind of interesting. Hopefully there's a charger open. Guess we'll find out. This really feels about as Florida as it gets, with all the stucco and everything, and very planned neighborhoods, I would say. And like the name tags for the neighborhoods and all that fun stuff. So we're in Lake Osprey Village, Lakewood Ranch. It's a Subway gas station with car wash. Well, I might need to get a car wash tomorrow. But just about to roll up to the hotel. So we've arrived at the hotel, Even Hotels, and now it's always the fun game of not only where are the charging positions, but are they open? It kind of looked like they were along an edge somewhere, but that wouldn't really make sense. There's a Tesla that's not plugged in. That's not a great sign, usually. Because typically they install them along edges. Okay, there we go. So we've got two Clipper Creeks, and we've got a Tesla there. I'm going to try the Clipper Creek first and see how much output it is. And then I'll get out my Tesla adapter and try that, because the Tesla adapter is probably going to be faster. So it looks like this Clipper Creek is 7 kilowatts, so 32 amps it appears. So definitely going to move over to the Tesla, and hopefully that's at least 40, maybe even 48 amps. So there we have the J1772 to Tesla adapter. That failure is normal. That's the Tesla wall connector switching from single wire CAN to communicate with Teslas, like this Model Y here, to defaulting to low-level communication or J1772 protocol to communicate with non-Teslas. So we're charging now. Looks like we've got a pond there, and I see a alligator warning sign there. If you're not familiar with this adapter already, I'll leave a link down below, but it's also included in my Rivian gift guide, which if you haven't watched already, whether you need gifts or you just need some accessories for yourself, highly recommend checking it out. And let's see. Well, that's worse. That's 22 amps. So I think those wall connectors might be load shared potentially. Not ideal. Okay then. I guess we'll go back over to the J1772 side, the Clipper Creeks. I was not expecting that. Not ideal. Before we head into the hotel here, get checked in, here's our stats from today. So add about 40 miles to that. So we did 610 miles roughly, and probably slightly about that efficiency, maybe slightly higher. And that total energy is just way off. We also crossed over 11,000 miles today. That's slightly strange, just walking up to the lobby here, and the gym is right there, just in case you really want to watch people work out or look outside. Alrighty then. Made it to the hotel room. The lady had to walk me up here because I guess their key system isn't working. So that's fun. I think I got an accessible room, probably the last one left. And there's workout equipment. I guess that's a thing at this hotel. It's called the Even Hotels by IHG, which is the same company that does Holiday Inn. Yeah, there's even these, I don't even know what this is. I don't work out. But pretty decent hotel. I think it was $160 and change. Can't see my truck. My truck's all the way over there. It's got power blinds, I guess. Unfortunately, I think we'll only get up to 60% on the truck overnight, but we'll stop at the Naples Electrify America, or maybe the Port Charlotte, I think it is, Electrify America, one of the two, or maybe both, because the Naples one is pretty questionable. But anyway, it is 12:31, and it is time to go to bed. See you in the morning. Good morning from Sarasota, Florida. Just walked out to the truck. Saw this wonderful view actually behind the truck. This is what we saw last night. There's that gator sign that I pointed out. We've got my truck here to charge up to 55% because level 2 charging at hotels is almost useless in a vehicle with a 135 kilowatt hour battery. But we're gonna hit the road. Probably gonna stop in Port Charlotte and then also in Naples at Electrify America. Not counting on being able to charge in Naples because that site is just a mess. But we'll try anyway. But let's hit the road, get unplugged, and I'll show you the plan. So here we have the stats from yesterday, going to clear that out. And just for reference, there's our trip so far. Not trip so far, lifetime so far, almost 11,400 miles. And we're headed to Marco Island. Let's see what the truck says. There you can see we're actually at 59%, my bad, 165 miles. So it wants us to stop in Naples, which makes sense, so that we arrive with 69 miles of range. We're gonna stop in Port Charlotte, looks like, so there's a CPE 250 site in Punta Gorda. I'll have to see if there's more than just CPE 250s, but we're gonna rip it here to Port Charlotte, and that will be our first stop. We'll probably charge up to 70% or so, see how much we use. Hopefully there's not too much traffic, doesn't look like there is. And then we're gonna meet up with Kyle and Dave. All the way at Marco Island or Naples, somewhere in there. Haven't coordinated the exact plan yet. Just arrived to Port Charlotte, got myself charging. Tried to use that one, but it's down, of course. That's a 350 kilowatt. We average 1.51 miles per kilowatt hour on the Florida Autobahn. So, not bad actually, considering. And we're headed to Marco Island. I don't need to charge here, but I wanted to get more charge. Let's remove the stop there. Actually, maybe I do need a charger. Go anyway, 86 miles. We have 100 miles estimated range right now. Not too far. We'll probably stop at the Naples Electrify America there because it's basically on the way. If I can charge, great. I'll top off a little bit. If not, no big deal. But probably charge up to 70% or so here. Let me give you a tour. It's a miracle. We have trash cans. Charging at 156 kilowatt. Can't really complain about that. Tried to use this one, number 5, the 350 kilowatt unit, but nope, not gonna happen. That's locked up on a boot screen. I have a strong feeling that these are probably not ADA compliant with these giant bases, so that's great for Electrify America. Not sure how they get away with that. That one looks available. Looks available, maybe. All of them shows available on the app, so we'll see here. Let's see. Available. And available. Wow, it's a miracle. So this is a ABB site, and we've got all the cabinets over here. Kind of a weird layout of the cabinets. I don't know why they have them clustered like this. Normally they have them in like 2 rows in a space like this. Get the big switch gear here. Looks like we have a fireman disconnect, which I don't think I've ever seen before at an Electrify America, so that's kind of interesting. Got our meter, got a transformer. Looks like we've got 1000 kVA transformer for this 6-stall installation. And we have the typical two 350 kilowatt units and 450 kilowatt units. Ioniq 5 just rolled up, and then there's a Model 3 that rolled up and then rolled by. We're up to 47 kilowatts delivered, 68%, 118 kilowatts. I'm just gonna set my charge limit to 70%. We'll let it complete, and then we'll hit the road and hope for the best in Naples. Because charging is slowing down a fair bit, and I don't like slow charging. Well, really can't complain about averaging about 150 kilowatt, between 35 and 70% on a 150 kilowatt unit. Now let's continue on. Well, we just arrived to the Naples Electrify America. We're charging now, just got plugged in. We'll see how terrible the speeds we get. Well, actually, mate, we're getting decent speeds. We rolled in with 38% and actually getting over 100 kilowatt. So not bad there. And 113 miles, 73 mile per hour average. There's a Polestar rolling by here that actually I think that's maybe the same person I saw yesterday. I don't know if they need a charge or not. But ID4 charging, I'm charging, I used NFC to activate it. And because these are labeled wrong, see it's labeled 1 up there. Someone just scribbled number 4 there and number 4 there. So that's fun. And then these two are, as I have dubbed them, hyper ultra broken. Ignore my terrible parking job. I knew that these were broken, so I didn't feel bad parking like this to make sure that the cable would reach my front charge port there. These bases are pretty interesting. I don't know what's going on there and why they have those. but you can see this one's showing as unavailable. It's pretty responsive, but it's, yeah. Signet, and this is a balanced charger, which you can see there. There's the label. So these were made in June of 2022. And here's the other one, also unavailable. So we've got labeled as charger 1, charger 2, even though this one is also labeled as, let's see here, charger 1, even though it's charger number 4. So I'm getting 157 kilowatt. That really is not bad at all. And this ID4 is getting 61 kilowatt on charger number 3 here, brand new one. Look at that, there's damage up there. Brand new charger. Well, anyway, glad I could charge. Surprisingly painless, I guess. But it could have been pretty bad if there was even one more car here. I wouldn't have been able to charge at all because there's only one open stall. And it seems like yesterday was chaos. So it turns out the Polestar driver that rolled by, they're actually from Finland. They walked over here because they were going into Walmart. They were asking some questions about how to charge. Turns out they tried to download the Electrify America app and couldn't because their phones are on the Finnish App Store. So very much the same problem that I encountered when I was in Norway, that Kyle's encountered in Germany and in Norway. Having region-locked charging apps is really a hurdle for being able to rent EVs when you're visiting somewhere and being able to actually charge them. But yeah, they said it was their first EV experience, and overall they seemed to like it, but they were definitely having some trouble charging. They couldn't even download the ChargePoint app, which is a bit strange because I think ChargePoint exists in Europe to my knowledge, maybe not in Finland specifically. We've got a beautiful Taycan rolling up. Forgot what color green it is, but man, beautiful vehicle. And there we have Taycan, beautiful Taycan 4S Saturn wheels. And they can't charge on Electrify America where they have free charging with their Porsche. And it's because Electrify America is broken. And if these two stalls were working, there wouldn't be an issue, but unfortunately, that is not the case. I'm getting 164 kilowatt, so I'm getting pretty great speed. ABB unit is working exactly as it should. That's a 175 kilowatt charger for those that don't know, but Electrify America just brands them all as 150 for consistency. And of course this ID4 is getting 56 kilowatt at 67%, which is, I believe, less than it should be, even though it's saying charge speed requested by your vehicle is 53. So it's possible they have a cold battery. Charged up to 70% here, and now we're gonna head to Marco Island. There we have a Lucid right there. First stop, Starbucks. I texted Kyle with my ETA, and of course he said, bring Starbucks. No surprise there at all. I must say, a Jeep Wrangler 4xe, especially if you get the soft top and can open it, is probably a pretty great, like, beach island vehicle. Got the Starbucks. Well, we've arrived to Marco Island. Here are the final stats for today. 1.64 miles per kilowatt hour. And it is just beautiful here. We're up to 72 degrees. Wow. Got Kyle's sister's Q3 there and waiting for them to come out. So we found Kyle, we found Dave. We're out for a walk with Bailey. And we found this giant thing with a whole bunch of three-phase temporary wires. I think it's like a water processing or air conditioning or something, but we'll go around the other side and it just has a massive amount of power going into it.
This thing.
Wow.
Man, I want one of these.
So there is a ton of power here, and they're blocking half of the charging stations, which is fun. But man, look at all that power. Wow. Well, we made it to Marco Island, met up with Kyle and Dave, and now we're gonna head out and do some other stuff. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. See you on the next one.